Welcome back to Rough Restos. I'm Jordan, and yeah, we're about to start the next video of the next 5 maintenance videos on my L405. So L405, it's no different to any car. It has calipers, they seize, especially if not looked after. Now, I know I needed rear brakes, so obviously in this video we're going to include the rear brakes. On the way back from buying it, the brake light come on. Thought nothing much, I had pad light, pads, so on. Had a look at it. There's a few more surprises to it. So in this video, we're going to be doing the rear calipers, rear brake discs, rear brake pads, and rear sensor, and I'll be showing you the process on how to do it once I work out how to do it. So let's crack on. What have we got then? Well, never cheap out. So Febby are a good aftermarket brand. Obviously, you can go genuine, which is just going to cost mega money. Decent Brembo ones, but not the copies. Just don't go mega cheap. Now, I picked up Febby ones from Parts in Motion for like 120 quid or something like that, which is pretty decent, really decent. So Febby, great, perfect. And then went to go fit them and realised I need calipers. So again, you can buy some Chinese ones for 50 quid a piece. I'd rather not. So I bought Apex ones. Now these could be remanufactured or they could be new cheapish ones, I'm not sure. But they're about 80 quid a piece, so not expensive. So not too bad at all. Let's get on and let's work out how to fit these. So the first thing we need to do is jump into a diagnostics tool here and put the park brake in service mode. Now, I'm going to use my ID tool for that. There's plenty of other tools that do it. If not, in the description down below, I'll also put the manual procedure for putting it into service mode. So we're going to jump through to service, park brake, PBM. Now you need to make sure your brake is not applied currently. So park brake needs to be off, but vehicle needs to be in park. Move to service position. Now you can hear it wind back. Comes up on dashboard, it's in service mode. Done. Park brake is in maintenance mode. And then right there we have it. Park brake is in maintenance mode. So it should be nice and simple. Pop this one off. Right, fairly simple. Let's see if you guys can kind of see what's going on here a bit, maybe. So first up, we just want to pop that one up, push him off. That's disconnected. Easy. Next up, we will disconnect the fluid line for the caliper. So that's a 13mm. Crack him off. And then I've got this handy little tool that blocks banjo fittings. Stops it leaking out. If not, put a bolt in it, wrap it in a rag. Yeah. Whatever's going to stop the fluid leaking the quickest. And then, of course, the copper washer is going to be stuck on it, without a doubt. And of course, there's my grips too. Obviously, these washers are going in the bin anyway, because you don't reuse them. And twist him off. Put your bolt safe. And then clamp this little tool. Right. Done. I like that. It's quite fancy. Let's tuck him out of the way. All sorted. So now we've got 14s, I think it is. Nope, sorry. 13s. It was actually 14 for the nipple. Not nipple, banjo. So let's crack these off. 17mm on the slider. New ones of them. Nice. And now, this one should come off with maybe a bit of persuasion. There we go. One caliper off. Now this one wasn't too bad. This one here actually has started working. We did spray some grease in the other day when we saw it was seized, but basically what's happened here is the boots come out. Now, these boots would definitely been visible when someone last changed the pads, which on this side wasn't that long ago. Exact same pads on the other side, worn out, seized. So someone had already seen that, especially on the other side, and thought, not my problem, put the pads back in. That our customer turned around and decided, nope, they weren't going to pay to get it fixed properly. So rather than attempt to rebuild this, caliper's cheap enough. Just put a new caliper on it. So I can always rebuild these if I want the spares. They are genuine, probably original. But yeah, so caliper off, simple. That's annoying. There's definitely more life on them ones yet. That caliper, you're buggered. Now, next we do is remove a carrier. So we'll also remove that pad if we want to as well. Not that it matters. There we go. In a minute it goes. Now these are 15mm 12 points. So the only ones you do actually need to have 12.4. All the others are 6 point. Yeah, you get a bit corroded at that. So these are going to be quite tight because they've probably not been done in quite a long time. Yep. Crack them off. There we go, done. Simple. Out it comes. Next step will be removing this T50 Torx bit here. Hold the disc on. Nice and easy. And then will the disc come off, or is he going to be seized? He's stuck. So, as we're not reusing the disc, it's not terrible to be honest. It's actually not a bad disc, but there we go. Off it comes. So next step will be pop out these shims, or I forgot what you call them now, on the carrier. Done. Wire brush. Knock back, well mainly all the grime and brake dust and rust where those shims sat. And for good measure, just do the whole lot. So next step, we obviously want to make sure these sliders are slide nice. They're not too bad to be honest, but pull them out. Give them a clean up. Whack a bit of silicone grease on them. Pop them back in, just so the boot sits back over, and then even better than before. Nice, same again. After that, we want to apply a bit of anti-seize into where the shims sit. This is aluminium anti-seize for brakes. Nothing too crazy, just a little smidge. And then pop these bad boys in. Done. And then finally, anti-seize again where the pads touch. Stop them squealing and getting stuck. So afterwards, should look a bit like that. Now, you never guess what? It's a friggin' reversal of removal. So again, Yeah, but have a little clean up whilst you're in there. Look at that big, beautiful new Febby disc. These come oiled from factory to stop them rusting, so bit of brake cleaner, because you don't want to oil on your pads. Job's a good one. Liner back up. Then, never guess what? Bit more anti-seize. Now, I will put all the talks in the video for all this stuff, rather than the Ugga Duggers, as we're doing it, but that's on. Beautiful. Should be able to guess the next step. Slide your new pads in. So, he says, there you go. And somewhere, oh yeah, with the kit come the new copper washers and new carrier bolts there, or slider bolts, sorry. So, on it goes. New bolts. Here we go. Calipers back on. So we can now pull our brake line back around, plug our handbrake back in, make sure it clicks in and stays locked on that tab, which this one doesn't want to. I think he's a bit broken. And then okay, banjo bolt, remove your other washer. A little spruce up with some brake cleaner, of course. And then we want to quickly clean the banjo as we fit it back in. Simple. Back on it goes. Back into the same hole you took it out of. On my new caliper, of course. Gentle smidge up. So the wear sensor, really easy. Clips back in where the old one come out of on the pad, and then fold it round, clip it back in to each clip where it sort of sits in these little brackets up around, and then it should slot back into that one up here, but someone's already cable tied X amount together up here, so I'll see if I can get it clipped back in properly. If not, the plugs will be cable tied back together in a bundle again. Not you can see because the torching it on, but round it goes, up it goes back in, and I managed to get the connector clip back in properly as well. Spot on. There we go, both replaced. Nice and easy. Yeah, really easy to be fair, about 17 minutes aside I think. So, just the same as a normal car. Obviously now we need to bleed it, so we'll go through that process, and then we'll reactivate the handbrake, and away we go. Alright, next step is pretty easy. You want a pressure bleeder, or a friend, So you can either do the old-fashioned manual bleed method, where one pumps, the other cracks off a nipple and back. I've just got myself and a puppy, but puppy just wants to play ball. She has absolutely no use at bleeding brakes whatsoever, so I best do it single-handedly. So we've got a pressure bleeder. So I've locked that one on there. We'll now pump it up to 15 psi. We've obviously nice new fluid in there. Not supposed to do one-handed a minute. And what we'll do is, as it starts to fill up the reservoir again, we want to make sure that the pressure equalises and stops, and that it doesn't continue to fill. If it continues to fill up to here, it will start spurting out. It means the seal on there is no good. So give it a go. So we'll pressurise this a minute. And then we got back here, bit of 4mm silicone hose, rigged up to bleed nipple, 10mm bleed spanner, and a pot. So then crack it open. And then what we should see in a minute is it's going to fill the caliper with fluid, and fluid's going to start coming out here, and we're then looking for air bubbles. We want to keep going until all the air bubbles stop. Now sometimes it's also handy to pump the brake pedal in between, just to give a bit of workout, but not always required. So we'll keep going until the fluid looks completely clear. See, there's some bubbles coming through now. We've got a stream of fluid coming through. And not many air bubbles, to be honest. Now bear in mind, obviously the piston is right way back in. So there you go, some bubbles come through. There we go. So piston is right way back in. So obviously it currently carries the least amount of fluid. So there's the least chance of air to get in there and the least amount of air to get trapped in there. So keep going and we'll do the same the other side. So the next step is we need to fire it up. And we must pump this pedal. Make sure we've got a pedal. Because else if you drive off and don't put pedal, push the brakes, foot to the floor, crash. Which would be really bad. So, and as simple as restore normal position. And there we go. Not a difficult job at all. So now my rear brake should be good, I'm hoping. New calipers, new pads, new discs, new air sensor. There's not much more to go wrong there. So yeah, annoyingly, whoever last played with that, well, actually I probably didn't show you the other piston detail on the other pads, but knackered, absolutely knackered. So someone had been in there, thought, oh, I'll chuck some pads in it, and on it goes, despite the fact the seals of the pistons were hanging off. And so it seems that one of the previous owners of this, at some point, didn't quite look after it as much as they should do. So now everything that they neglected is what I've got to fix, which is typical for me buying a Range Rover. I buy one and it becomes sort of a labour of love. So that's another job done. Now there's already a few videos on this. There's also plenty more videos coming. I'm about to jump on some more. Well, I was going to, but I seem to have lost the front camera. Don't know how. I had it the other day. I was spent an hour going back through CCTV to try and see what I might have done with it. Can't find it. So I might have to buy another camera just to better do that job, because we've got the wash jets knackered, I think, which is then leaked onto the camera, knackered the camera as well. So I've got them two to change, but I only want to take the bumper off once, funny enough. So might look at a few other issues in a minute. Do a few more little servicey items that I couldn't do in Northern Ireland, and crack on. So yeah, thank you for watching. If this video has been kind of helpful for you, then why not drop the video a like? That really helps. Obviously, tell me what I've done wrong, what I've done right. Yeah, I'm not actually a mechanic by trade. I'm an electrician. So self-taught with building cars and stuff. So it might not be perfect. And yeah, obviously subscribe for plenty more. I've been Jordan. Thank you for watching. Cheers.